The backyard smelled of grilling meat and sunscreen. Children ran around with sparklers, even though it wasn't quite sunset. Family voices overlapped with the faint hum of music from someone's phone. I had been here enough times to know the pattern. A little laughter, a little side glance, a quiet comment that somehow became everyone's truth. Today was no different. My little brother, Tariq, leaned against the picnic table, arms crossed, a grin that made me feel small. "You'll probably rent your whole life," he said, loud enough for several relatives to turn and chuckle. My parents smiled, not at me, not like encouragement, more like approval, the kind that sneaks in without being called out. "Being homeless suits you," my mother added. I felt a familiar tightening in my chest, but instead of answering, I looked past them at the lawn, at the grill smoke curling into the sky. I had spent years silently covering their mistakes, signing loans, paying insurance, helping with property taxes, things they never acknowledged. I said quietly, "Just send a message," and turned away, not yelling, not justifying. Simply leaving. I walked to my car with a calm that surprised even me. Tariq shouted something else, trying to follow, but no one else moved. Their silence hung in the air, thick with disbelief. I didn't look back. The evening passed without fanfare. I parked at a nearby cafe, ordered a coffee, and let the cool air settle the tension. For the first time, I noticed something lighter in my chest, a small relief, not from victory, but from detachment. The next day, my phone began vibrating. 20 missed calls, almost all from family numbers. I let them ring for a moment before answering the first. "Tariq, what's going on?" I asked casually. His voice cracked, panicked. You did." I waited, letting him fill the silence. "The bank, the house of the refinancing, you didn't renew." "Yes," I said simply. There was a long pause. I could hear my parents in the background, urgent whispers, panic creeping into every syllable. Their entitlement, the assumption that I would quietly cover for them again, had collided with reality. The documents, we can't, the payments, it's, what are we going to do? Tariq's voice shook. I stayed calm. Not out of cruelty, not out of revenge, but because for years my involvement had been assumed, unspoken. Tonight, that assumption was gone. "Check your email," I said. "Everything's been updated. Any future requests will need formal acknowledgement. No exceptions." Tariq swallowed audibly.
You're serious?"
"I am," I said. "I've done enough silently. The rest is yours to manage." The calls stopped one by one. My parents' frantic whispers faded into silence. No shouting, no confrontation. Just the undeniable realization that the systems I had quietly maintained were now out of reach without my explicit consent. I sat back, holding the phone in my hands. Relief mixed with an unexpected weight. The family had always measured my presence as something that could be taken for granted. Tonight, that measure shifted. I didn't gloat. I didn't linger on their panic. I simply let it be. Their scramble was not my doing, it was the natural consequence of their assumptions. For the first time in years, I felt untethered. My support had limits, and those limits had boundaries that couldn't be crossed without acknowledgement. I went for a walk, watching the sun rise over the quiet streets. Children played in yards, neighbors waved to each other. Life carried on, indifferent to entitlement and expectation. And I understood something simple but profound: I could leave the drama behind, enforce the boundaries silently, and finally be seen, not through humiliation or confrontation, but through the calm assertion of what had always been mine to control. For once, my absence spoke louder than my words. And that was enough.